Dear Building Better Leaders, I recently took over a team that had gone through a rough transition. Their previous manager was popular and well liked, but had been asked to leave due to performance issues. I was brought in to air quote, turn things around. Now, the problem is the team resents me. I could feel it from day one. They're polite but cold. I get the sense that they think I don't understand them, or worse, that I'm here to be the bad guy. I haven't even had a fair shot to build relationships. Every decision I make is questioned or compared to how things were done before. How do I lead a team that never asks for me, doesn't trust me, and seems to be waiting for me to fail? This person is definitely in a very tough position. I can feel this person. I was wondering if do you have any stories or any experiences which kind of like matches up with this letter writer.
I have a lot of, I can relate to this person a lot, especially as an expatriate leader. I have taken roles in new markets where typically you are sent in there to fix a problem.
Yeah.
And when you go there to fix a problem, there is resistance, there is pushback, there is lack of awareness. So I think I totally relate to this question. But then, if I can share some of my um, insights of why there is pushback. I fundamentally, inherently believe in goodness in people. So people by default do not resist or hate. Uh, but the reason why that manifests is uh, one is the fear of unknown. I don't know what this person is going to bring to the table, right? Um, so that is one big element, not knowing what's happening, second guessing what's going on. The second is anxiety about job security. Oh, if this person comes, am I going to lose my job?
Yeah.
Is the person going to bring this person's team
Yeah.
built around that?
Yeah.
And the job security is a big reason why people become dysfunctional, right? Then you have, man, this new person has come in, but I'm loyal to my previous leader, right? I go in as a leader into a new country, new market, new team. But the team was built by somebody else, and they all respect that person. And you go and replace that individual. So there is human loyalty, right? How do I jump from one ship to the other? If I back this new person up, back you up, will I be seen as disloyal to my previous leader? And
Good point.
uh, the fourth one, which is more often than not, it's very surprising, is that I have inherited roles where there is no prior leadership presence. I've gone into an organization where there was so much of free play, no leadership presence, that people were doing their own thing. And then when you go in as a leader and you put in frameworks and you put guardrails, you put then they start getting upset about, well, I had so much freedom, I had so much access. Now, why am I being supervised? So from an environment where they were they were not accountable to anybody, they're now got to be accountable to you. They then start pushing back, right? So there are some reasons why it happened. Personally, I have encountered these three or four situations where it has been difficult to move into a market, take on a new team and lead them. So yeah, I can again relate to the question.
Thanks. I think what you have added in is another layer of putting yourself in the shoes of the other side, right? Again, your Ranga's Ranga's trademark of empathy, right? And yeah, you're right to say that there is going to be fear of change in general, right? Job security, and so on. I think one thing I'm learning from this is that I don't think what you said triggered me just now with regards that you believe that inherently people are good in this case, right? Like for this case, I think for the letter writer, the people that they or the letter writer have inherited, I don't think they wake up in the morning that day and say, today I'm going to make my boss's life difficult. I don't think today I intentionally will wake up, I will mess up this person's life. I don't think they think that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, and, you have to believe in humanity. I don't think everybody is driven by that. Maybe there's 1% to
Yeah,
2%, and
okay. Yeah,
and those people don't survive. They get weeded out by the system, so you don't need to worry about it.
yeah,
But you're right, Kausan. I mean, more often than not, people are coming from a good place, and
yeah,
then you have to give them the benefit of doubt, right? And
yeah,
sometimes they do things without them being aware.
yeah.
As a leader, you can make them aware of such behaviors without judging them, and that actually gives them time to reflect and reframe. So I'm a big fundamental believer that we're all good human beings, and we come to create value. We want to make progress in our personal life, put rice on the table, and that's it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not a big deal.
I think for the letter writer, knowing that I think it's very important to understand that to go in with the eyes of empathy, that it's actually not they're not resisting you as a person in this case, because anybody who comes in, they're also going to resist anyway. So I think the letter writer shouldn't take things too personally in this case, and to reframe, like you say, it is they are not resisting you as a person, but they're resisting to the loss, whatever that means, right? Loss of uh, somebody which they so-called were familiar with, may not
Yeah.
necessarily be high performing. We don't know. I mean, this person said that the last manager was asked to leave because of performance issues, but it was just a sense of familiarity, right? So they were familiar with the
Mm.
environment and so on. So there's this loss. I think probably I'm being fed with a lot of American movies or series and so on. So my imagination is almost like one of those series where, uh, dad brings in, remarries and brings in a new mom into the picture, and it's like,
Hey, it's no longer a Western thing.
yeah,
Quite a few.
oh, okay,
I was having a chat with. So sorry, digress. I was
yeah, yeah, go
chatting
ahead,
with a friend of mine and their kid, and then I saw that the person had, um, makeup from the attending wedding. They had henna in their hand, and I asked her, "Hey, do you go for a wedding with your cousin, your aunt, or uncle?" He said, "No, I was attending a wedding of my friend's parents." I said, "Huh? Seriously?" So. It's
okay,
it's a norm, right? I don't think one has to judge that,
yeah,
but
yeah,
that kind of situation arises personally to
yeah,
individuals when the a new mom comes into a person's
yeah,
life, a new dad
yeah.
comes into their life. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, but
No, no,
that's
but
something
but
I
but
wanted to
that's a good
share.
point. I think it is how usually the new mom in this case would navigate the situation with, the kids which she has inherited in this case, is to have that kind of conversation with them to, in essence, to tell them that I'm not here to replace that relationship that you have with your mom in this case, right? I'm not. So it's not a replacement. It's not binary. It's not like me or her. They should understand that, right? And over time, I hope to be able to earn that trust, a different kind of trust with you, right? So
Well, it's not about. I know. I might come across a little harsher here. It's not over time. I've got a job to do. I've inherited this team. They don't trust me. You come first, like to your point, to basically say acknowledge the fact that okay, it's not about me. It's about
yeah,
the environment in this situation, and it becomes your responsibility as a boss, as a leader who's inherited this team, to go and acknowledge this reality. Hey, I haven't. You don't want to work with me probably not say it in such an exaggerated term,
yeah,
but you basically say you might be concerned, you might be anxious, you might be worried. You know what? I'm not here to actually disrupt your lives. I'm here to help you realize your potential. Articulating that, not assuming that people know why you're there, is a super important thing.
okay.
Going into that conversation, being aware that you do not have, just because you got promoted into this role or you got transferred into this role, does not entitle you to have trust from your team. You go into that organization, go into that environment, go into that team as a new leader by basically acknowledging that reality that there is change. This could be causing fear. This could be causing anxiety. This could be causing issues of dual loyalty. Who do I do? Da, da, da. And therefore, making that data available and bringing everybody onto the same page with real time, nobody can be in denial. You're not in denial. And they know that, okay, my boss is empathetic to the situation. You build trust. The moment you build trust, people will give you benefit of doubt, right? And then you articulate that I'm not here to throw spanner in the works. I'm here to drive progress. I want to drive progress of the organization. I want to drive progress of the individuals in my team. And that is the only way we're going to succeed. So when these two things happen, right, when you're showcasing trust, then saying you're here to help in the individual progress, as much as they might have loyalty to somebody else, they will give you the benefit of doubt. And I'm speaking from personal experience, right? And then they have to see it evident in their
Yeah, yeah,
experiences, in their
yeah.
conversation with you. And that happens, then you become their favorite leader. Um, so you have to be fair. You
I
have to
am,
go,
as you were sharing that, I am reminded of something of a personal story myself as well. In my last corporate job, in this case, so I joined this social media company, Nafnang, in 2016,
mm,
and the average age group at the time was probably like 24 or something. So the moment I joined, it probably tipped over to 30 plus. So
yeah,
clearly, I'm way over. I can be their fathers in this case. So I think there was a lot of anxiety as well on my side, right? Knowing that I'm stepping into a place where there are a lot of young people, and the young people will be like, "Who's this uncle who does he even know anything about social media?" Right? So I think what you said was triggered me in the sense that reminded me that the first thing is to address the elephant in the room, to say, hey, I understand this is how you're going to be feeling, but I'm not here to make your life difficult. I'm here to create progress. I'm here to bring out the best in you, right?
mm,
And to follow up with actions. So what I did at that time, if I is that there were about 40 plus of them at the time, and I took about a month or so to sit down with every one of them, every single one of them, and of course got to know them, ask them how long have they been working and so on. But the key thing that changed it is I asked that question of, if you were in my shoes, what would be the changes that you would want to make in a company,
wow,
right?
wow, yeah,
So because they are the frontline people, they clearly have seen things which
yeah,
has been working and things which are not working. So that question itself, I collected a lot of data points from that question,
yeah,
right?
I can
So
imagine.
so that is where I literally had an Excel sheet of everyone, what they said, and I tried to then I would try to break it down to like, okay, what are the lower hanging fruits which I can immediately fulfill for them, and what are things which will take much longer. So then whatever which I can fulfill immediately, then I quickly do it. I think that create a lot of evidence, like what you said, the action create a lot of evidence that it's not just me saying that I'm here for the best for you, but there's no actions that follow up with it, right?
Action oriented,
So the
yeah,
very fact
yeah.
that to show them here now, these are the things that I've done, and what do you think of it? Do you think that is something which you can work on? Do you think something which will help you to be a better person in this case, or a better worker, right? So I think these things then create trust. I think back to what we talked about, you need to show competency, right? And you show that you're
Totally.
dependable. So if you can do those things, and then and also be, I think at the time I remember going back to them to say these are the things that we have done,
Yeah.
and I remember your ask, dear so and so. Those things I probably can't do it as of now. Please give me some time. So I'm accountable to everything that was being said in this case to everyone.
Totally.
Did it change the atmosphere overnight? Of course not. But it turned around much faster than I thought in terms of the acceptance of who I am as their new country manager slash CEO. So that is an experience I just wanted to share when you said that.
This is an awesome experience that you share that brings to life all the points that we discuss about anxiety that is there. New person comes on. Why is that person there? What do they know? You cared, so you paid attention. You listened. Spending time listening is one of the biggest ammunitions arsenal that a leader can have. Listening, active listening is something that we talk about in coaching,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And listening without judgment, without having preconceived notions. That's super important skill for us to have as leaders. And I think one of the things that you did, Kausen, and it's something that all the successful leaders should do, is to own the situation rather than be victim of the situation. To go in and say, "Oh my God, I've inherited this dysfunctional team," is a victim mindset. But going into that position to say, wow, I've got an opportunity to lead a team, but you know what? There are going to be some detractors, there is going to be some resistance. Taking that as your leadership challenge, as your ambition to say, what if I solve this problem? How can I solve that? I will become a better leader. Therefore, taking it as your own growth journey to say, what's the point of having functional teams where everybody will come and say, I'll work with you, boss?
Right,
Then it's boring, right?
right.
And I'm kidding about it. But if you are thrown a bit of a challenge where it's difficult for you to get buy-in from your team, but then you challenge yourself and embrace some of these steps to actually get that buy-in, you will feel as a leader more fulfilled than if it is a very easy team to manage.
Okay.
So, Kausan, I have a couple of thoughts on that for you to think about
Yeah.
and for the writer to also think about, right? And then if I can, if you don't have further builds to just crystallize this thought, I believe in acronyms, and one of the things that I got is three C's,
Okay.
right? The three C's are the character, care, and challenge. As a leader, when you go in, people judge you based on your character. Don't underestimate the fact that your reputation precedes you, right? Sometimes, if people have experienced you through their word of mouth from their friends, from their colleagues in the industry, that has an impact. So, regardless, as you build your career, make sure that you're building your character too, which is about integrity. Are you a fair person? Are you honest? Are you somebody who is consistent, right? So those are certain things that you do as a leader, regardless of leading a team or not. Because when you do that, when your reputation precedes you and you have this positive reputation, it makes it easy for people to believe you and trust you and want to back you as a leader. Second is care, right? Have empathy, and understand what their perspectives are as to why they are behaving in a particular way. And do that without judging. That's important. And lastly, a lot of people respect you when you challenge them to grow, when you challenge them to break their comfort zones. So, as a leader, when you go and take on new teams, if you are able to improve their own growth journey by challenging them, giving them new opportunities and new challenges, that helps them gravitate towards you as a leader. They would not want to leave you as a leader. In fact, the word of mouth will kind of
Yeah.
snowball,
Yeah.
and a lot of people will say, if you want to grow, go work with this person. This person is the right kind of leader for you. So it creates a precedence for you and creates a momentum for you. So three C's: character, care, and
Challenge.
challenge.
Okay. Okay. So I think we've given a lot of points for this letter writer to consider. So let me try to recap the points here. Hopefully, I can manage to capture everything. I think the first thing is for the letter writer themselves, going into such a situation is to first of all have empathy, to understand that the people would have fear, right? Fear of change in general. For example, fear of their job security, fear that they'll be seen as disloyal if they were to cite you, and so on. And go in there as well to address the elephant in the room, to say that, hey, clearly there's a change, right? But I'm not here to make things difficult for you, but I'm here to make things easier for you. I'm here to help you to progress, right? And also to follow up not only by just saying that, but also follow up with actions as well. So we talked about having one-on-ones with them, having those conversations, listen to what are their challenges, and then try to solve those challenges for them, or to co-create or solve all these challenges for them. So that will, in essence, also build trust and dependability, because you said that you are going to do what you say you're going to do, right? And we talk also about to understand that this is an opportunity for you to grow a new team in this case. So instead of going in with a victim mindset, but to go in with a victor mindset, to have that ownership to say, hey, this is a good opportunity for me to learn to be a better leader, to reframe that instead of saying that, oh, I have inherited such a lousy team, but to go in to say, this is an opportunity for me to change and make things better. So to have that kind of mindset as well. And you mentioned about the 3 C's, right? So in order for us to come across as a dependable and trustworthy leader, the 3 C's are character, that you need to come across over time as fair, consistent, a person of integrity. And the second C is to care. We will not go into too much details on that. That's evident itself. And of course, the last thing is to challenge. This, I feel that a lot of leaders do not do that. They're afraid that they may hurt the person by challenging or pushing too much. But of course, I think if you have really established that trusting relationship, you will know how much you can able to push that person. And I think both of us, we've talked to countless people before. When you ask them to say, which part of your career that you felt that you grew the most, and most of the time they always tell the story that, that time, where I had to stay back for that pitch, overnight and so on. So they were challenged by their boss, they were stretched in this case. And those are very defining moments for them. So as leaders today, we need to be able to create those and not to be afraid to challenge productively.